Well, welcome back to another episode of Build and Drive, where today we're going to be replacing these rusty brake lines. So as you can see here, I took my car to get it inspected. In Germany you have to get it inspected. It's called the TÜV, and the TÜV told me that I have a rusty brake line in the back, and I kind of knew that I did, but I thought it was the line back here, right where my light's shining. You can see those bolts are a little bit rusted. I thought it was there, but underneath, as I showed you before, the line is actually like rupturing. The coating has rusted through, and that's what the guy was talking about. I'm surprised it's not leaking fluid, but we're gonna change that out today. I got new parts, I'll show you. So the plan is to install these Hail Performance steel braided brake lines. It's just they're very challenging to install, these short ones in the back, because they normally tend to freeze up where they connect to the brake lines that come from the front. So we have to replace those, and as well, these two are super rusted. So today we're going to replace these, and then later on in another video I'm going to install the steel braided brake lines. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be replacing the rusty brake line. This is the one that rusted through. It has this enamel coating on it that helps it protect from rust, and at the same time I'm going to replace the other one as well. So if you've ever done rusty brake lines, you know that it's just impossible to get off without breaking them. So I'm going to tell you why we have these 4 items here, and then these other items we're going to be rust proofing the rear subframe at some point. I did this a few years ago and it held up pretty well. It's about 3 years later, but we're going to do it again with some better products. I just kind of sprayed like this stuff, this undercoating stuff, and it sort of worked, but now the rust is coming back, so we're going to do a whole video on that. So let's focus on this first. So how do you loosen these little nuts, or these little bolts here on the brake lines? Well, people say, oh yeah, use WD-40. WD-40 actually is not a penetrant. It is just a water dispersant. It doesn't really even lubricate long term, just short term. So this one is actually out of the question. Now I had this lying around, someone gave it to me for free. It's for quick action rust, what do you call this? Like a rust loosener made by WD-40. So I tried this and it actually worked on one of the bolts, but it wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. I sprayed it in there, left it 24 hours, and still wasn't that great. So we move on to the liquid wrench. If you ever watched Project Farm, this was one of the winning penetrants. Freeze stuck nuts and bolts, guaranteed to cut the rust. This one actually won other than using heat. So if you used heat to undo the bolt, that one was better, but was the runner up. So I sprayed some of this on there last night, and we're gonna try and undo the bolts now and see if that worked. And then I have this one as a backup. This is something called a cold shock rust solvent. It's a freeze shock effect, or a cold shock effect. You spray it on there for 5 or 10 seconds and it should cool the bolt off to shrink it so that you can undo it. And we'll try that as a last resort. So let's get working. So the first thing you want to do is just get like a jack handle or something here. Move your seat back, push it on the brake, and push the seat forward so that it puts pressure on the master cylinder. So when we undo these brake lines, all the fluid doesn't come pouring out, and it will more or less keep it under pressure and inside the lines. So if you look here, let me try and get a shot of this. Back there, the brake lines come from the front of the car to this little like bracket, and then it goes down to another bracket underneath here where my fingers are, and then from there one of the brake lines go to the other side, and one of the brake lines comes here to this side, and then again it goes with another rubber piece to the caliper. So this is the intermittent pipe, the intermediate pipe, I don't know what you want to call it, that we need to swap out on both sides, not going to the front of the car. And so last night I was under here and I was spraying this with some penetrant. As you can see, this liquid wrench penetrant, it's like, it seems to foam up, and yeah, it seems to penetrate the actual bolt there the WD-40 kind of just went over it. Didn't actually like sit there. This is foamy. Kind of sits there and goes inside. And what you want to do, so you want to be putting the penetrant on the top here, but also inside underneath here, and it's a little hard to show, but I'm gonna try on the top here. Yeah, it's sort of like that. That wasn't very good, but you get the idea, because that's where the bolt attaches from the bottom. So if you watch Project Farm, when they did the torque test of like spraying this on a bolt and then undoing the bolt, if you leave it for 24 hours, it should be easier to undo the bolt by like 20% or something like that. So I've sprayed this all last night, even a few nights ago, a couple times, and we'll try now to take it off. So I have two tools here. This is a regular flared line. What is this called? Flared nut wrench, or for brake line tool. See, it's a little bit different. You can actually grab onto it. It's better than just a regular spanner because you have more grab. If you use a regular spanner, it's possible, but you may just end up rounding the nut off, and that's no good. And I bought this nifty tool. It's a ratcheting brake line tool. This was expensive. I was hoping to use it to get at those bolts back there, but I can only get on the first one and not the second one, because there's just not enough space. So I ordered something else, and that's coming. It's similar to this, but a little bit different design. So we're gonna put this on. I'm just gonna use the line wrench first, and let's see. It's an 11mm line wrench. What you want to watch out for is you don't want to, you want to be twisting the nut, but not the line itself. What happens is this nut will seize to the line, and you'll be twisting the line off at the same time, and that's what we want to avoid. So let's just try this. Yeah, I see it moving. How do I get you guys in here so you can see and I can still turn the nut here? No, it's turning the line. Oh, sort of turning the line and then not. So we're gonna spray some more of this stuff on here. And I'm gonna let that sit, and let's try the bottom one. Nope. I can't even grab it. Let's try this one. Nope, it's also seized on there. Well, we're off to a good start here. Okay, so what I've done is I've brake cleaned this off and dried it. And so now maybe we can get a better handle on it. I'll clean off the wrench as well, so we have all the grip. Let's see now. See, no, it's still like rounded. No, it's just rounding. This one is too. Yeah, it's just rounding. Okay. Huh. Yeah, the penetrant didn't work. Our options now are, I'm gonna try this stuff on it, but I'm gonna have to take off this clip and take off the caliper and twist it off from this end, from the bottom end, from this line. We'll have to like turn the caliper to take that off. Then that line will come off, but now that side, I don't think we can do that. We'll have to put some vice grips on it or something to get that off. It's already leaking some brake fluid, so we got it loose or we damaged it or something. But let's try this stuff. I don't know if that's twisting. think it's just twisting the pipe, unfortunately. I think it's sort of half twisting it, half not. Well, the pipe's coming off either way. So let's work on that bottom one. Maybe with some vice grips, and we'll see what happens. So first things first, I'm gonna try my expensive tool because I just put it on there and it has pretty good grip. So we're gonna use this shock rust on here, see if it helps. I'm just gonna wipe it off real quick. Yeah, I have pretty good grip on here. Okay, two hands. I don't know if you can see now, but now it's rounding. Holy moly, this thing is on there. Okay, now I have a little propane torch here. We're gonna try to put some fire on it. Okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it moved, but it's twisting. It's twisting the hose. Yeah. Nope, now it's just rounding the nut again. Just gonna do this for a second. This thing is crumbling here. This hose is rusted all the way inside, even though on the outside it looked okay. So maybe now, if I put in some liquid wrench here. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Great success. Here, maybe now I can show you this ratcheting one. So we can ratchet that way and then turn it. Ratchet that way and then turn it. Is this working? Forget the ratcheting tool, man. What the frick? Just use some vice grips, to be honest. I mean, I guess the ratcheting tool is useful if you're in a really, really tight space. Whew. Working under cars is tough. My arms are burning. Come on now. Oof. Okay, when I get this off, I'll be back. Okay, so here we go. This unscrewed from here. This piece just pops off. This is just a little retainer clip to prevent this from spinning. So I'm gonna clean all this off when it's all apart, and we'll paint it and do all that stuff to protect it from rust. As you can see, we're not getting doused with brake fluid because we did that little brake pedal trick. So see, this one's now loose. I can take this one off from the top as you saw earlier, and I'm gonna now work on this one off camera using the same method. I'm gonna just put some heat into it, get it loose, spray some liquid wrench in there. So I was putting some heat on that one to get it off, and as you can see, it just twisted right off. So I'm now gonna work on that. Yeah, I was trying to not break it, but oh, it's loose now. Oh, it's hot, hot. There we go. There's that piece, and that one's off. All done. So now I think I will, yeah, begin working on the other one now. Okay, I'm now gonna put the new piece back on. Okay, so while we're here, before I put this one in, I am gonna try and loosen up those 2 bolts back there, just so that we can fix this later. So I think I can fit my propane torch in there, but I can't find like a welding mat or even a welding glove to put over that plastic pipe that's there. I don't even know what that's for, so that when the heat's in there, it doesn't melt that pipe. So that's our last resort. So instead, I have this little butane torch. I know it's not as hot, but it's heat, and hopefully the heat will just help it loosen enough so that we can get that bolt cracked, and then get some liquid wrench in there, and then we can take it off eventually without twisting it off and damaging it, because that's the hard part. We don't want to damage those, because if we do, we have to replace it all the way to the front, or we have to fix the pipes, which involves like taking this all apart, and I don't want to have to do that. So let's try this first. I hope you guys can see that. I'm gonna hold it here for a minute, and then we'll be quick. See, it's turning the whole brake line. Just not what we want. But the good part is it's cracked loose. So now what we can do is actually unscrew it from the bottom and then screw it back in, rather than trying to undo that one and having it snap like that. So the heat did work. That is loose. It is turning. So yeah, we'll just undo these doohickeys here, these clips, and then you can unscrew those from the bottom. All right, we are here on the other side. Here's where the hard line attaches, the intermediate hard line, whatever you'd like to call it. So I'm gonna get this line wrench on here. Let's see. Ah. All right. So this is a little hard because like line wrench fits there, and then there's no place to move it. It's kind of annoying. Yeah. There we go. Flip the wrench around, and nope. It's frozen as well. So we're gonna go straight to using heat. Yeah, see, I don't know how people expect to like replace these other than taking the whole caliper off. Because these lines are so rusted on there after, you know, 20 some years, it's just you're gonna damage them taking them off. So what people do is they actually just undo this little clip here and they take off the caliper and they twist the caliper off, rather than having to destroy this line. That's why, well, ours are rusty, so we're gonna replace ours. So I may just have to destroy this one and to get it off, and yeah, put the new one on, and then later in another video we're gonna do these lines here, replace them with the braided steel lines. Okay, so we're under here. I got that other side off after like 20 minutes of quarter turns. It's really annoying. And now I'm gonna look at this new one and compare it so that I make sure that I'm putting it in the right orientation. And I think it goes like this. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it does. Sorry guys, camera angles is impossible under here. So see, the old one goes like that. So I'm gonna first tuck this one up in there, and I see it has to go over the differential. Where is this? No, it goes even higher than that. Yeah, guys, filming under here is like impossible. But it goes over this hanger thing. Right here, right up in here. So I'm going to be gentler with the new one. Yeah. Okay, so the trick is coming actually from the other direction. So I put it in, see, this is the right side of the car. I put it in this way over the differential and then through. And I think that's how you do it, because this comes out perfectly to where it should be here. And I think this is good too. Let's take a look. Working on the ground in the rain is just the worst. Yeah, so it comes right where it should be. So that was the better way to do it, I think. So let's start putting this all back together now. But these, they have this, what do you call it? They have these little slots here that go into here so that this doesn't turn. It's stuck there. So then what that allows you to do is to, I'm gonna clean this out first with some brake clean, just to get all the gunk out of there, make sure the threads are okay. Okay, so this slots in there, and then this, oh yeah, one of these guys goes on there first, sort of like that. Oh man, I thought this would be a bit easier to tighten up. I'm gonna try to use this ratcheting guy to do this up, because it seems to be, I don't want to be doing this for an hour with a little line wrench. So I guess this thing is a bit useful for doing up the lines, but taking the lines off was just horrendous. Just terrible. Is that it? Is it done? No. Is it actually doing it up? Yeah, it is. Oh. Oh my God, this is so exhausting working under here. There we go. Slightly tighter. Make it snug. And let's do the next one. So, I don't know if you guys can see this well, but second one goes on like that. That top part goes back over here. Just gonna slot that in there. And this piece goes on like that. And you're off to the races. Before I tighten this down, I'm just gonna get this one situated as well up here so that it's all set up. There we go. Okay, the clip is situated. All right. Now the long and arduous process of tightening this sucker up. Oh my God. I need a pillow to rest my head. Or a lift. You know, if you guys want to donate to the channel, you can use the super chat. Everything always is tending to cost more and more. You know. Okay, I'm gonna tighten this up off camera. This is impossible. Okay, so bottom one's in and tightened. One little trick I've noticed is with by hand, unscrew it all the way and then push it together and screw it together, and you should be able to screw most of it together by hand. Don't cross thread these threads, if you know what I mean. I was gonna tighten it down and I'm like, no, that can't be right, and I loosened it all the way up, and now it's doing a lot better. Like, I can tighten it by hand almost all the way. I scrapped that other line wrench. I'm just using one of these to quickly zip this up. It's much easier than the line wrench or that ratcheting wrench. Just do this by hand. I mean, do this with the regular crescent wrench, and then I'll use the line wrench to tighten it up at the end, just to save some time. This is you know, it's like four of these things is taking me like 2 hours. It's really not very fun. See, and then it's tight. Don't round this, guys. You did all this work, and I have to take these off later to do the yeah, that's tight. I'm not gonna do any more than that. All right, so all of those are done, I believe. Oh, I have to do the other side. That's right. Forgot about that. Okay. Just have to tighten the other side, and then we're gonna bleed the brakes, and then we're good to go. Okay, I'm all set up here to bleed. It's a 9mm wrench onto the little nipple here, and get some hose that fits this, and then get a helper in the car to push on the brake, and then open it, and of course put this in a little bucket here, like that. Yeah, something like that. And open it, push on the brake, let the fluid come out, close it. Push on the brake, open it, let the fluid come out, close it. Just keep doing that until there's no more air coming out of these lines. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for watching. That was a pain in the butt. If you're gonna do this, somehow jack the car up on both sides. I had to go back and forth and back and forth, and just do all the lines at once. I have to go to the TÜV right now. I have like 30 minutes to get there to do the inspection. That's why I didn't put on the steel braided lines today, but we'll do that another day. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If this was beneficial for you, hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. If you guys are gonna do this, man, I feel for you. It's a pain. It's a long process. Get yourself some a propane torch, one with a longer handle. I'll show you what I bought. So I bought one of these. This has a much longer tip, as you can see, about double the length, and that will allow you to get into the back two bolts a bit better, and hopefully that helps us to break those loose. Otherwise we'll just have to twist them off and twist them on again. Anyway, but that's for another video. See you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out my other video tutorials on my channel. If any of these videos were helpful to you, consider dropping a like and sharing these videos on social media to help other BMW owners save money fixing their cars. See you guys in the next video.